There's no comment from Bill Cosby this morning after explosive new details were revealed this weekend about a 2005 sexual assault lawsuit. In a fully released deposition first obtained by the New York Times, Cosby admitting to leading women into sexual situations with promises of fame and career advice. The lawsuit was filed by a woman who claims she was drugged and molested by the entertainer. In the transcript, Cosby defends himself, suggested to a lawyer he was good at reading nonverbal signals on when a woman would consent, saying, quote, "She does not say to me, 'Don't ever do that again.' She doesn't walk out with an attitude of a huff because I think that I'm a pretty decent reader of people and their emotions in their romantic sexual things," end quote. Attorney Gloria Allred is representing some of Cosby's alleged victims. Take a listen.
I intend to use many of the answers that Mr. Cosby gave in this 2005 lawsuit in his deposition to probe him even further about Quaaludes, about his apparent lying to women, when I have the opportunity to take his deposition.
Now, Cosby has vigorously denied all sexual assault allegations and has never been criminally charged in this. With more on these new developments, let's bring in former U.S. Attorney Kendall Coffee. Kendall, we've been talking about this case for some time now. What's your thought about Attorney Gloria Allred doing what she just said? Will she be able to depose here Bill Cosby in her client's case?
Well, Bill Cosby's best friend at this point is the statute of limitations. And certainly that's going to be raised in a lot of these cases. But one or more of these cases is going to go forward. And in those cases, I think they'll be able to use this deposition, which is a mighty ugly transcript from the standpoint of Bill Cosby. So normally you can't use evidence from other cases, but because they're alleging and will be able to establish perhaps a pattern, false mentoring, drug-laced drink, sexual abuse of a helpless victim, I think when as one or more of these cases go forward, that deposition is going to be used, and it's going to be dynamite.
When you look at Gloria Allred bringing up that, we will use this 2005 lawsuit in the deposition that you're just alluding to, and you're saying it's going to be very critical to the case, what do you make of the comments, for instance, the ones we just shared?
Well, they're amazing. From the standpoint of the Cosby legal team, he was admitting only that he was giving partying drugs for purposes of partying rather than immobilizing drugs for purposes of exploiting and abusing a helpless victim. But from the standpoint of the court of public opinion, this is tantamount to a confession. I think that's the way any jury would hear this information and see this transcript.
Kendall, just again going back to the transcript here, he's alluding to his ability to read nonverbal signals. What does that mean?
Well, he's implying that all of this was consensual, that he understood that. But anytime you go down the road of the victim was asking for it with all this other evidence, that's going to be a disaster in this day and age. And I think Cosby's arrogance as well as his insensitivity are going to be every bit as harmful as his statement that he was giving Quaaludes to younger women in order to have a sexual relationship with them.
And let's dig down deeper on that, again, to that transcript. A lawyer's asking him, when you got the Quaaludes, was it in your mind that you were going to use these Quaaludes for young women that you wanted to have sex with? He then replies, Cosby does, saying yes. But when a lawyer asked, did you ever give any of those young women the Quaaludes without their knowledge, Cosby's lawyer interrupts in this interlude here. Do not answer that question. What do you make of that back and forth here?
Well, from the standpoint of his legal team, that's going to be critical. That, yeah, it was a party drug and they were partying, but it was consensual. That's what they'll argue later on. And it was just about engaging in entertaining a subject rather than immobilizing them and sexually abusing them. But I think the word yes, as would be heard by the American public as well as by any jury, is tantamount to saying, I'm guilty.
Thank you so much, Kendall, as always. Kendall Coffee on this case with Bill Cosby. Appreciate it.
Hey, thanks, Richard.
You bet.